This happened back in December of 2022. I was living in Minnesota with my parents at the time, but they were in Ohio celebrating Christmas with my mom's side of the family. So I had the house to myself. I was 19 at the time, and I couldn't go with them because I had just started a new job and wasn't able to take any time off. Well, I had this habit of locking the bottom lock of my front door when leaving the house, and then I'd use my key to turn the deadbolt, and I would only lock the deadbolt sometimes. I did this for years and never had any issues, but I am human and humans make mistakes. One afternoon, I got home from work and was very exhausted. There was nothing to eat in the house and I was starving, so I threw on my jacket and headed for the door to go pick up some takeout from a local restaurant. On my way out the door, I had locked the bottom lock and forgot to take my keys with me. I didn't realize it until I went to go get in my car and I couldn't. Apparently, I left my purse in the house. Inside my purse was not only my keys, but also my phone, so I couldn't call anyone. I felt like such an idiot, and it was freezing outside. All the windows to my house had bars on them, and we didn't have a spare key stashed anywhere. Although I grew up in this neighborhood, it wasn't a really nice neighborhood by any means. I'd seen a handful of different people moving in and out on our street over the years, and none of them ever seemed very friendly. Long story short, no one on my street knew me, and I didn't know any of them. But I did know that an old couple lived in the house next to me. That's all I knew. I just needed to borrow their phone to call a locksmith. I didn't know what else to do, so I knocked on their door. Some scruffy-looking guy I'd never seen before came to the door. The guy almost looked homeless. He had very thick eyebrows and messy hair on the sides of his balding head, and he was wearing a dirty-looking sweatshirt. I asked him if he lived there, and he said he's watching the house for his parents while they're away. I went ahead and told him who I was and why I was there, asking if he maybe had a phone I could use. He didn't answer at first. He just stood there, looking surprised. Finally, he mumbled something I couldn't understand and opened the door all the way, stepping aside as if waiting for me to come in. It was really awkward. And I wasn't trying to go inside a stranger's house, but I was shivering to death, so I just walked in without thinking. I don't know how to explain it. I remember questioning myself in my own mind, what the hell am I doing? But it felt like immediate relief to get out of the cold and into a warm home, and the guy didn't really seem too intimidating, I guess. After walking inside, he closed the door behind me and locked the doorknob as well as the deadbolt. That definitely made me feel a little nervous. Still shivering from the cold, I asked him again if I could use his phone, reminding him that I would be really quick. He said he'd go grab it and told me to make myself at home. I hesitated and stayed near the door in case this guy were to become a threat. It took him quite a while to come back with a cell phone that clearly wasn't any modern smartphone. It was some old flip phone, and it was completely dead. That was extremely weird, and I immediately began to feel uneasy about being inside of this house. He assured me that his phone had a terrible battery and told me to just hang out while he ran upstairs to find a charger for it. I thought that was weird too. The whole situation felt wrong. I didn't know what this guy was up to. Everything in my gut was telling me to just leave. So I did. I opened the front door and speed walked down to the next house over. I could see the guy looking at me through a window. He looked angry. I remember he had this frown that was very unsettling. At the next house, a woman with kids answered the door this time, and I explained to her my situation. She immediately pulled out her phone and dialed a locksmith for me. While waiting in her living room, I told her about the man next door who claimed to be watching the house for his parents. The woman perked up in her seat with a wowed look on her face. She told me that she personally knows the old couple who live there and that they don't have any sons or daughters. She didn't know the couple well enough to confirm their whereabouts at the time, but she had spoken to them enough in the past to know with 100% certainty that they don't have any heirs. She decided to call the police to conduct a welfare check on the old couple. When the police arrived, they found that the house had been broken into from the back, but the man who I saw there was gone. The police were able to confirm that the couple residing there was on vacation in California. That creepy guy I encountered there was definitely not their son. Came to find out he was a burglar who stole a bunch of jewelry from them. The worst part about this was that this guy knew that I would be home alone for a while because of everything I had told him. Luckily, I was able to get my parents to come home early, and my dad gave me a super long lecture about why I should not lock the bottom lock on the door, but I think this experience was enough in itself to stop me from ever doing that again.